Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Harvest Valley Life podcast. This is a podcast that goes deeper into the life of the church. We explore relevant topics, discuss updates, and share real-life stories to both encourage and inspire you in your faith. Let's dive right in and get started. Welcome to the Harvest Valley Life podcast. My name is Randy, serve as the lead pastor at Harvest Valley Church, and it is such a joy to have Brad and Candy Morrow with us today. Thank you guys for being on Harvest Valley Life podcast.
You're welcome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Man, it is so good. I am so excited today just to talk about marriage, and we're going to talk about the Alpha Marriage course. But before we get to that, I think everybody would want to know just a little bit about Brad and Candy Morrow. I think just from the onset, I just want to just say how much I appreciate you guys, just your heart for Harvest Valley. Brad, you serve as one of our elders at Harvest Valley as well. But you have such a heart for people and such a heart for marriages. And I just want to just say thank you for just going on this journey with us as a church. But let's just jump in. And I would love, but I think people would also love to know, tell us a little bit about you guys, your marriage. Like, how did you guys meet? How long have you been married? Go on that journey with us.
We met it when we were at Bible college.
Okay.
And I really liked the fact that Brad was friendly and remembered my name the next time I saw him.
Okay.
And so that was like 2 points for him.
Yeah.
And we dated at Trinity, and he asked me to marry him in front of 350 people, which is a whole other story, but really a God thing, because it was God working in both of our hearts and giving us just what we needed.
Wow.
And we began marriage with being in full-time ministry, and we were in Wisconsin for a year and then in North Dakota for another 10. And then we moved to Fargo, and we've been here ever since.
Wow.
So we've been married for just a little over 40 years.
Yes.
And we're still learning.
Yeah. You said 40 years of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Before we move on, I have to just mention something. You mentioned Brad remembered your name.
Mm-hmm.
I think if there's any young men listening, just remember their name is a win.
Yep.
That's amazing. I love that. I know that in marriage, in 40 years of marriage, there are some really good seasons and there's probably some hard seasons. Was there a season that sticks out to you guys where you're like, man, we need some help. We need some insight. We need somebody to come alongside of us. Is there a moment like that for you guys where you can remember?
There's probably quite a few moments like that, just because in the process of doing life that long, there's just hard times you realize, boy, we're just kind of floating on what our relationship was.
Yeah.
And we're not really investing. And pretty soon you kind of, you're dry and you're realizing our marriage needs a boost, you know?
Yes.
So I would say we've had different seasons of that.
Yeah.
Plus, marriage is really the closest thing on earth to a type of our relationship with God. And so it's a forever learning experience. I always get a kick out of being at weddings where the pastor says, with traditional vows, which are not used that much anymore, they say having a full understanding of the covenant about which you are to enter. Yeah. And I'm thinking, no, really, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have not a clue.
True.
They just think they love each other right now.
Yeah.
And then we grow and learn how to do that. We learn what that looks like and what the God kind of love is and what sacrificial love is. And so marriage is a beautiful lab in which to grow up.
When we were dating, there was not a lot of money to be had. So our dates were a lot of times getting a cup of hot chocolate together and sitting, and we'd talk for hours.
Yeah.
And that was a really good foundation to start out our marriage, and was something that we have kept doing is just we're committed to communicating and to realizing we don't know it all and that there's more information out there. So we've really availed ourselves a lot to things like Focus on the Family, Family Life Today, podcasts, books, whatever, and continued to pour in some better tools to learn how to do life together and just to remind us even of the good stuff that we're already doing, kind of as to why we need to do it. So,
That's so good. You mentioned just kind of maybe being on having not a lot of margin in your budget. It's amazing how a cup of hot chocolate tastes so good when, that's all you can afford in the moment. I remember my wife and I, getting married, things were pretty tight, going over to Cashwise and getting a Pepsi for 67 cents. And we were like, this tastes so good.
Yeah.
And so, but those are special times.
Yeah, they are. They were
special times. I remember going on a walk. We were walking through a cemetery there in Ellendale, and I found a $1 bill.
Oh, man.
That's 2 more dates.
Yeah. Come on. You're just like, that's a lot of hot chocolates, man. That's amazing. I love it. What is something that, you learn a lot of things. Like you said, I really feel like marriage is one of those things where it reveals how selfish you are. It reveals the areas where you need to be sanctified in your life. As you think about that for yourself, what is like one thing you feel like you've just learned the hard way in marriage?
There were several of those too, but probably the main one is just hearing the heart of my spouse. If she doesn't have peace, it's a good idea not to move forward until you do.
Yeah,
and so
that's good.
We did that on a house purchase and paid dearly for that.
Yeah,
I mean, we recovered. The Lord helped us because He helps us through our mistakes, but we paid a pretty good tuition on that lesson.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the majors that sticks out.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What about you, Candy? What is something you feel like you learned the hard way?
Well, just realizing that you have to respect your mate and their way of doing things too. I remember when we were first married, I was much the planner aheader.
Sure.
And he was the throw your stuff in your bag maybe the day of.
Okay, yeah.
And he was going to be gone to camp with kids for a week. And I said, we got to pack your suitcase ahead. Well, we did it my way. Yeah. But he left with his hanging clothes bag hanging on the door. And I ran to church. Couldn't get a hold of him, didn't have cell phones with his stuff. And he was gone for a week to camp without his clothes. And I said, okay, that's it.
That's totally.
You can do it your way.
Yeah, totally. That's so
some
good.
Things we've learned to mesh and to respect and see the gift that God gave us in each other to, your differences are something that can benefit me.
So good.
So some things we've modified, but other things we've just chosen to you do you. And I'll do it my way and we'll both get it done. So.
Yeah, I love that.
But when you respect those strengths, life is so much sweeter. Because
that's good.
I need her. I need her strengths. She comes with stuff that I don't have.
Yeah.
And so it's been a learning experience, but really helpful to me. And I'm thinking, I can learn some things from this gal.
That's so rich. I just don't want to just go past that quickly because just to learn to value each other's strengths is such a big thing, and not to see it as a threat or not to see it as they need to conform to how I do things, but to value each other in that way. I just want people to hear that. I think that's really good, you guys. Thanks for mentioning that. Marriage it can be tough. It's a lot of work. It's a joy. But why do you guys think marriages drift? Why do you think, if we're not intentional, why do you think they drift?
I think they drift because they have people in them.
Yeah.
People drift.
Yeah.
We don't just float toward excellence. We don't float towards strength.
So true.
We don't float towards stability or anything good.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's good.
So if people are involved, drift is going to happen unless it's, addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think those times are times to just, realizing we drift when we see that, it's just a time to re-choose our relationship and to decide to invest again,
Yeah, that's so good. I think there's a lot of just common struggles. You sit down with the different families and marriages, and what are some common struggles that you're seeing today, just that couples are facing?
I think there's a couple of them. One thing big is just distraction. Our world offers so much distraction between cell phones and televisions and busy schedules and so forth. And I think if we're not really careful, you can kind of listen to your mate with one ear, and you realize, I kind of heard what you said, but I really didn't hear your heart and I really didn't connect. And that distraction over time really does damage to our relationships.
Yeah.
And so I think just having to clear out that distraction and be mindful that there will be some times we're just going to do this and we're not going to allow other things to be crowding in during that time. It's really important.
Yeah.
And then just our busy, exhausted lifestyles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. That's so true.
Overcommitment is so easy to do. And we are definitely not the best version of ourselves when we're spent, we're exhausted.
Yeah.
And we have really nothing left to give.
Yeah.
So it goes back to that principle of Sabbath, when God said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Yes.
He didn't do that to kill our joy or to, bind us up in some way.
Yeah.
But that's for our own good. It's recovery.
Yes.
And so if we don't ever have times to recover, we will never function at our best because we're spent.
Yeah.
We got nothing to give.
Yeah. I love that, because I think sometimes we think that maybe doing it God's way is a burden or a restriction on our freedom, but really it's a joy and it leads to blessing and it leads to human flourishing. And sometimes it takes more work to do it God's way. And I think the reason we don't is just so easy to do it our way.
We think,
but it doesn't yield the fruit.
Correct.
So we're here to talk about just alpha marriage, and you guys have run the course. Why'd you say yes to this? What about alpha course is that you just want people to know about? What is that?
As you know, life circumstances kind of lead you into different opportunities and so on. Candy was very invested. Actually, both of us were very invested in the final, in caring for her parents in the final years of her dad's life. And he passed away. And at the end of that, we realized, we were just kind of drawing on our marriage account. And we needed some deposits.
Yeah.
Looking at the check register, it was running low.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about just the relationship.
Yeah.
And, we've actually had to face the fact that a lot of times we were emotionally unavailable to each other. We were wrapped up in her dad passing away and how that was going to affect the family and her mom and so on.
Yeah.
And so, at that point, this was a opportunity that came, and we said, "Be a great time to invest. Let's do this."
It's a win-win because we believe in marriage, and we see, God says, wherever there's two or three together, He's in our midst.
Yeah,
and so marriage is just that foundational two together.
Yeah,
and so as that, I think the devil has an X on the back of all of our marriages, where he wants to take them down because he knows there's power in that, and so. We really believe in marriage and that, both for our own sake and for the sake of those in our church body and what that can do. We just really wanted to invest our time in being a part of this. And we were so impressed with the content of the course. It is great. They just cover so many basics and so many foundational things. And we just loved it. We thought it was great.
I love that. I love that. Give me an overview for somebody who's listening today and they're just like, man, I really feel like I could use this, and they're not familiar with the Alpha Marriage course. How would you describe it in a nutshell? And maybe some overview of just some of the lessons and things you explore.
I'd say it's a toolbox. Unfortunately, when we come to the marriage altar, we are all in love and we're warm and fuzzy, but we show up with our toolbox empty and our suitcase full.
Okay,
so we've got our baggage, but we don't have any tools to deal with it.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's not good.
Well, that's a good illustration.
This course.
That's because I think that's good. We bring a lot, but it's our toolbox.
Yeah,
that's good.
So you're already in a position of need. And Nikki and Scylla Lee are veterans. I wouldn't say they're perfect. They share some very personal stories about some of their early conflicts, but they teach things like conflict resolution and how to fight to win.
Relationally,
for both, relationally, so that your marriage is stronger. Communication, how to rightly communicate, and just some foundational principles of good communication.
Yeah.
How your background, your family background, and things you've gone through might be affecting your relationship.
So true.
There's a session on that, and and also sexual intimacy and all of these. That's one thing I think people really need to know is that this is what you put into this course is what you're going to get out of it. And that it's set up so that there's breakaway sessions where you and your mate go talk about these different questions that are put in strategically throughout each session. Cool. And then there's homework to do during the week on your date night. And so if you invest yourself in those things, it'll be God giving you lots of tools for your marriage. And but we're not going to ask to know all of your marriage issues in the course. This is for you and your mate to come and get tools and not for everybody else to know your struggles unless you choose to share that with someone and, you pray together or whatever. That's your choice, but it's not, that's not part of the course. So you're safe. It's a safe environment to come and get some good deposits without feeling vulnerable to everybody else. As well as getting to know other couples that are interested in investing in their marriage too.
So good. So good.
So it's designed to learn in a very safe and comfortable way. You won't be humiliated or embarrassed, or you don't have to air your dirty laundry or confess all your sins or whatever.
Totally.
You come and learn that we can take this truth home and work this out.
I love that. It's just, I love what you said. You're not just getting tools, but the real work and transformation happens outside of that moment that you have to apply them. Date nights, conversations, having tools in your tool belt is good, but you have to put them to work is what I'm hearing you say.
Right.
And I love that. Oftentimes people think about, man, our marriage isn't going well. Now we need something. Is this Alpha Marriage course only for couples in crisis, or what's your encouragement with that?
Yeah, absolutely not. Much like if you want your car to last, you do periodic maintenance.
It's good.
You just change the oil, rotate the tires, clean it up once in a while, address the needs while they're still small. And because people drift, and because marriages they're kind of a high maintenance relationship because they're so daily. And they involve every part of you every day, all day long. So it's important to deposit anytime you can. And periodic maintenance goes a long way. It's cheaper than a major overhaul. Or the junkyard.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's amazing. Like you said, with the car, the illustration is great. Sometimes that preventative maintenance actually keeps things from falling apart. And I think if we would just know that, oftentimes we just address something when something falls apart, but it could have actually been avoided.
Right.
What would you say maybe to a couple who thinks like, actually, we're fine. We really don't need this. What would you say to them? What would your encouragement be for them?
I really wanted to hear what you'd say.
I did too. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, what would you say?
Well, I think it's great that you're fine, as far as that you think that your marriage is good. But I think we all need to keep investing in order to keep it good. 40 years of marriage, if at any place during that 40 years we've decided, we've been married 25 years. We got this down. We don't need to invest anymore. By the time we get to 40, our marriage would look very different. And I just don't think our marriages are ever one of those set it and forget it things that you can just say, I've got this. I think we always need to keep moving toward. And I think I've noticed, like last week, Brad left me a love note on the counter in the morning.
Man. That's awesome.
I thanked him for doing that because it's a step toward me. And it pulls my heart in. And anytime your mate is saying, let's do this together. And let's go invest and step toward each other in this relationship, I think you'll reap benefits that are positive.
That's so good. Brad, come on. Young guys are getting some gold listening to you, man. Just love notes. Remember her name.
You noticed she said last week. This week's a new week.
Okay.
Go back, Jack, and do it again.
You still have time. It's Thursday.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned, I think sometimes the only framework we have is maybe what we grew up with, and it could even be dysfunctional. So we perceive it as fine because it's what we know, and it doesn't feel like the wheels are falling off. And I think my encouragement for you, for people who are listening, is like you said, sometimes when you gain some tools, you realize how dysfunctional some things are. and you're like, oh my goodness, we have a lot of work to do. We thought we were good, but our good is actually normal, and normal isn't working, right? And so what I'm hearing you say is like, man, sometimes those tools can revamp, reshape what your marriage looks like.
Right. I was going to say in my young life of 64 years, I have learned that normal is just a setting on your dryer. Nothing is normal.
Yeah.
Especially me, my wife is not normal. We're two individual people that are still learning each other.
Yeah, that's good.
And secondly, I was going to say that we just can always learn. We can always do better. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
And if you're moving in that direction, you're going to be ultimately better off. I've also learned that anytime I say to myself, you've got this, it never ends well.
Yeah.
No, I don't have this. I thought I had this.
Yeah.
I don't have this.
Yeah.
I need God's help.
That's good.
We're all dependent on God. And I think, too, is just the reminders. Like, there's a lot of things about marriage because we have invested in our marriage over the years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we know.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we don't forget. Humans are prone not just to drift, but to forget.
Oh, so
where we
true.
just get busy doing life. And it's like, oh, I used to do this and I don't anymore. And that was a good thing. I'm going back to that. And so that's where I think it's always a good thing. We went to a marriage retreat last fall too, that we had. I actually won it off KFNW, and
that's great.
Went to this retreat, and it's like, wow, this is so awesome. And you just realize marriage is such a gift that God gives us, and it's worth the investment.
Yeah, I love that. That is so good. What is something that you've seen in marriages when couples do invest intentionally?
It's like watering your garden.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see growth, know, and it doesn't mean that everything is fixed immediately.
Yeah.
But there's signs of life that start to show up. And so watering the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say it gives way to hope.
Yeah.
Hope. They don't necessarily feel like, we've got this all fixed now.
Yeah.
But we have hope that we can know better than we have today.
That's good.
And hope is a great motivation to keep reaching.
And keep investing.
Keep learning.
I know you guys are not just facilitating the group, but I know you guys are praying for the group, and you have hope, and you have hopes for everybody who attends. What is something you're hoping for as you start a new semester of this Alpha Marriage course? What's your prayer for everybody who comes to this group?
Well, that they would be able to get some new tools for their relationship that would give them hope in the areas that they're maybe feeling kind of like, I don't know if we're ever going to work this through.
Yeah.
And so maybe despairing a little bit, that they would have that hope that, yes, you can learn. We can all learn, And I think just that couples will decide together that we are going to put ourselves into this, and that they would both just be willing to open their hearts and see what God will do,
So good.
The other thing I think is that the way these sessions are designed is that they actually, you watch a video for a while and then you break away. You're in a separate room for 10 to 15 minutes, and you're having a guided discussion, and you actually talk about things that you didn't talk about, or you learn things that you did not know.
Yeah.
So you come out of that little 15-minute session with some stuff to work on, but you feel like, wow, I never knew that. I've never done that before. I guess we've never talked about that, but that's good.
Yeah.
We can run with this. This will help us.
Yeah.
And that's my hope, that actually people come out of there saying, I learned a lot, and it was very helpful to me. And that's just the starting blocks.
Yeah.
When we talked about doing this another time, I was talking with Whitney, and I said, we're ready to do it again, because there's stuff from before that there's still more we'd like to go back and look at again.
Yes.
And when you have these set aside times, we can all sit down and say, oh, we're going to go through this marriage book.
Totally.
It's not the same as committing to be a part of a group, and they're expecting me to show up, and I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
And, that's different. It's that added degree of accountability that keeps us there investing and learning. And so we feel like, man, we could go through this thing a million times and learn more every time. And it's a very worth the time course. You know, it's only 8 weeks, and it's a great boost.
So good. It's so good. Oftentimes, like we've talked about before, we can get in a rut. And we just know that sometimes going to the Alpha Marriage course is going to mean that it's going to have to do, there's work and there's conversations and there could be some pain. Just like, when you're sitting at home on the couch and you need to go to the gym, there's an effort and sometimes it's painful, but it's going to bear fruit. What would you, maybe just a last word of encouragement to somebody who's listening? Somebody at Harvest Valley is listening and they're just like, man, I should do this. Maybe I'm not sure if I should do this. I know it's going to be a lot of work. What would that encouragement be for them as they listen? If they're on the fence of just like, I know I should. I don't know. I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know it's going to be fruitful, but what would you say to them? They're wrestling right now with this.
Yeah, I would say that nothing good ever happens without effort.
Yeah.
I would actually direct them to just do a little research on the internet. Look up Teddy Roosevelt's little speech about the arena, the man in the arena.
Yes.
Whose face is marred with dust and sweat and blood.
Yes.
But there is no achievement that ever comes without effort.
Yeah.
And without falling short and without error. But we get up and we try again. So invest, it'll be worth it. We talk about people saving for retirement or whatever, and all the investment professionals say the people that are successful are not the people that make the most money. They're not the people that are financially savvy. They're just the people that do the diligence of saving something methodically.
Yes.
So something is always better than nothing.
Yes.
Just get up and do this.
So good.
Try it. If you feel like an epic failure, re-enroll the next time.
Yeah.
Come back and do it again.
I love it.
We won't let you fail.
That's great. Candy.
The other thing I was going to say is I've quoted you a lot of times when you say, we're all just a hot mess.
Yeah.
And, realizing that all of us are broken humanity and none of us have this thing all down.
Oh,
and
for sure.
So to somebody that's saying, I've got these problems, and I would say, we all have issues that we need to work on. And I think if they can come and decide we're going to work on our marriage and we're going to extend each other grace as broken humanity, I have failed you. You have failed me.
Yes.
Let's go learn some better ways of relating with one another. So instead of hurting each other, we can build each other up and go deeper and have a better relationship.
Oh, that's amazing. That's beautiful. As we wrap up this time together, I just want to say thank you for just going on this journey, because I know it's in addition to what you have all going on, grandparents and working, and you guys have a lot going on. But what I appreciate is that you're making an investment into lives and marriages. And I know and believe that it's going to bear fruit for not only this generation, for generations to come. There's going to be generations who, if they could trace back how a moment where their parents' lives were transformed, it's like, man, Brad and Candy led a moment for us and led this Alpha Marriage course. And I just know that this is not just about today, but it's about a generational impact that marriages can turn around and be healthy. And then that child can see what a healthy marriage looks like.
Right.
So I just want to say thank you for making that generational impact at Harvest Valley.
Yeah. And this marriage course is free. Counseling is pricey. So rather than put an ambulance at the bottom of the hill, how about we put a fence around the top?
Yeah.
So jump in. Let's
That's
do
great.
this. And even if you learn one thing, even if you learn just one thing, don't say something for which you would have to apologize later. If you can just learn to keep your mouth shut in times when it used to run off, God has helped you greatly.
So
it helped your
good.
spouse even more.
Yes.
Yes.
So good. So for those who are listening, we'll put the link below of how you can get connected, but we just want to encourage you, take that step of faith, and it is so worth it. And like you said, there's this beautiful relationship that the Bible gives us. It's a husband and wife, but it's a beautiful picture of Christ in the church, and we need to make that investment. And so thank you guys.
The other thing I was going to say is that our marriage is not just for us. I mean, we get to enjoy the fruit of that, but it affects our kids. It affects our church. It affects our community.
Yes.
It really does. A strong marriage means a strong family, a strong church, a strong community, strong nation.
Yeah, that's great. I love that flow of that. Pastor Cal would call the ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
The ripple effect of that. So Brad and Candy, thank you guys. We appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for doing this course for Harvest Valley, and thanks for being on the podcast today.
We're looking forward to it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to the Harvest Valley Life podcast. We would love for you to get connected with us. To discover more about Harvest Valley, go to our website at harvestvalley.church. Again, thanks for listening, and be sure to join us for our next episode.